A baby born on U.S. soil might not be American anymore. It sounds shocking, but it is real. And it is not just political, it is constitutional. On June 27, 2025, the U.S. Supreme Court delivered a decision that could reshape citizenship in America. In a 6-3 vote, the court ruled that federal judges can no longer issue nationwide injunctions. These are legal blocks that stop presidential actions across the whole country. This ruling is tied directly to a major move by Donald Trump. On the first day of his second term, he signed an executive order to end birthright citizenship for children born in the U.S. to undocumented immigrants. He argued that the 14th Amendment does not cover them. This view goes against more than 100 years of legal history. Lawsuits were filed quickly in several states. Some courts blocked the order, calling it likely unconstitutional, but Trump's legal team made a smart move. They did not ask the Supreme Court to decide if the order itself was legal. Instead, they asked the court to limit the power of lower court rulings. They wanted those rulings to apply only to people who filed the suits, not to everyone. The court agreed. Justice Amy Coney Barrett wrote the majority opinion and said that judges had gone too far by blocking policies nationwide. She explained that courts should only stop policies for the people directly involved in a case, not the entire country. She called this kind of broad court action an overreach of power. But the liberal justices strongly disagreed. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson warned that the ruling could create a legal gap where the president can act without limits. She said this could lead to a zone of lawlessness. Justice Sonia Sotomayor went further and said the court was helping Trump avoid checks on his power. She warned that the result could be thousands of newborns left without citizenship. Trump's order says that babies born in the U.S. to undocumented immigrants are not citizens. If this takes effect, it could mean some babies born in American hospitals would have no country and no legal identity. That takes us to the 14th Amendment. It was added to the Constitution in 1868 to make sure that freed slaves and their children would always be considered citizens. It says that anyone born in the U.S. and under its laws is a citizen. In 1898, the Supreme Court confirmed this again in a case called Wong Kim Ark. It ruled that even if your parents are not citizens, being born in the U.S. still makes you American. That principle is now being tested. Trump's legal strategy is clear. By avoiding a direct fight over the 14th Amendment for now, his team is focusing on weakening the court's ability to stop him. This ruling on injunctions helps him do just that. It means future lawsuits against his order must be filed one by one in different states by different people. Until the Supreme Court directly rules on the order's constitutionality, Trump's definition of citizenship could quietly take effect in many parts of the country. That leaves a legal patchwork where a baby born in one state might be a citizen, while a baby born across state lines is not. Legal experts warn this will create confusion in hospitals, schools, and immigration offices. Some fear it could even lead to civil rights lawsuits if children are denied federal benefits or education due to unclear status. Politically, reactions are divided. Supporters of Trump say this is about protecting national sovereignty and ending what they call birth tourism or loopholes in the system. Critics, however, see it as a dangerous step towards stripping basic rights from people based on where their parents came from. They argue that this is not just about immigration, it is about changing the very idea of who gets to be American. While the court avoided a direct ruling on the order itself, many believe that day is coming soon. The stakes could not be higher. The deeper question now is not just legal, but moral. Should being born on U.S. soil be enough to make someone a citizen? Or should citizenship depend on the status of your parents? For over 150 years, the answer was clear. The 14th Amendment made birthright citizenship a foundation of American law. It created a simple rule meant to prevent discrimination and ensure fairness. But now that rule is under pressure. Trump's executive order has not yet been fully enforced, and courts are still reviewing it. But with the Supreme Court's recent ruling, the path to enforcing it just became easier. Without nationwide blocks, the burden falls on individual families to challenge the law in court. That process can take months or even years. In the meantime, thousands of children may grow up without clear citizenship, caught in legal limbo. Justice Sotomayor warned that this could lead to a generation of stateless people living in the U.S., unable to vote, work, or even stay in the country legally. Justice Jackson added that the courts have a duty to protect people from sudden changes that remove rights without due process. The debate is far from over. What happens next will likely depend on future court battles, public reaction, and maybe even Congress. But one thing is clear. The meaning of American citizenship is no longer settled. It is now a question up for debate. So where does that leave us? A president signed an order. Some courts tried to stop it. The Supreme Court limited their power, and now the citizenship status of thousands of newborns may depend on where their case is heard or whether anyone sues on their behalf. This is not just a legal fight. It is a fight about identity, rights, and the future of America. Supporters of Trump see this as a bold step to secure borders and redefine outdated laws. Opponents see it as an attack on the Constitution and the core values of equality and fairness. The 14th Amendment was designed to end debates like this, but now the courts are reopening them. As we wait for more rulings, the uncertainty grows. Hospitals, schools, and families across the country are asking the same question: who counts as American? And what happens if the answer suddenly changes? This case is not just about undocumented immigrants. It is about the power of one office, the limits of the law, and the role of the courts in defending basic rights. Will the Supreme Court finally take up the heart of the issue? And if it does, what will it decide? The answer could redefine citizenship for generations to come. What do you think? Should being born here make you American? Or should something more be required? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. This story is far from over.